With AEW about to run its second show and the WWE working a tone for the messy main event at Hell in a Cell, there's lots of news to report. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at your news for 9th October 2019, including Raw's ratings, a big announcement from the WWE, injury updates, a legend who wants his final match with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 36, Seth Rollins breaks his silence about the WWE Hell in a Cell finish, as well as our top story is Bret Hart shoots hard on Bill Goldberg. Let's waste no further time and get straight into the first story as WWE announces a big press conference. The WWE just announced a press conference to be held Friday 11th October at the T-Mobile Center in Las Vegas. According to PW Insider's Mike Johnson, listed as appearing are WWE Champion Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, Triple H, Braun Strowman, boxer Tyson Fury, and Rey Mysterio. Obviously, WWE will be officially announcing Lesnar vs Velasquez and Strowman vs Fury matches. However, there's a possibility the Velasquez vs Lesnar match may have hit a snag, as Dave Meltzer reported on the recent Wrestling Observer Radio that Velasquez needs knee surgery. They could do Cain at WrestleMania vs Brock Lesnar, do a one-on-one. Cain gets the surgery and comes back. But if Cain gets the surgery, I'm not sure he's back. If he gets full reconstructive surgery on the knee, let's say he gets in November, he's missing Mania for sure, not even a chance. Maybe he can get minor surgery and be back. Maybe. Perhaps this is the main reason why WWE hasn't officially signed him. Next up, Jon Moxleys Big Reveal. AEW star Jon Moxley appeared at the New York Comic Con's AEW panel, and during a Q&A, he talked about scriptwriters in AEW and who the first people were who learned he was leaving the WWE. Hey, you know how many writers were backstage for the 2-hour television? The very successful 2-hour television show we had the other night? 0. To answer your question for me, it was all just crazy timing. I'd been planning on leaving where I was before a few months, and the first guy I told, other than my wife who knew, the first guy who knew was Chris Jericho. This was before I knew this was happening. I said, dude, I'm out of here. I said I'm gone. He said, do you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna go with us? And I'm like, what? Not 5 minutes later, probably I got a call from my friend Cody Rhodes. So that's how it happened. Next up, the Raw ratings. Raw ratings were down from the 30th September season premiere, with PW Insider's Dave Shearer breaking things down. The 7th October season premiere edition of Raw brought in 2.334 million overnight viewers, down from last week's 2.570 million overnight viewers. Looking at the numbers, Hour 1 seemed to have been the strongest, but then they lost about 200,000 viewers by the end of the night. However, Raw's ratings were still better than the week before Raw's season premiere, although the Red Brand continues to lose viewers with each progressive hour, a bad sign since some fans apparently have less interest in continuing to watch the show after the first hour. On a brighter note, there didn't seem to be any significant drop in the audience after the much maligned main event at Hell in a Cell. Next up, Seth Rollins breaks his silence about the WWE Hell in a Cell finish. Now, we've already shitted on this match way too much, so we're not going to repeat ourselves. We're sure anyone who's watching the video knows by now what happened. WWE went with the option of just plain ignoring the situation on Monday night, with Seth Rollins not even appearing on the show. The Fiend didn't on television, although some of you may know he appeared right after the show when the cameras went off. Now it's revealed that the Architect has now responded and mentioned on Twitter, "Survive and prevail is bigger than just what happens between the ropes. Question everything, even yourself, and fight your heart out every step of the way. Hashtag Seth Rollins is not cool." Well, at least he's acknowledged it. We think the best thing to do is for Seth Rollins to just go absolutely crazy right now. Let him whine, let him unleash his heart out in front of an audience. Let's see his frustrations build up in the ring. His actions in the ring will probably lead to a heel turn, and as for The Fiend, maybe the best thing for him to do is go over to SmackDown, where he could get into a program with Brock Lesnar if Cain Velasquez is unavailable. We'll have a video tonight on WWE Draft Predictions, so be sure to tune in if you can. Next up, a big match announced for AEW Dynamite. Although Cody is scheduled to face AEW World Heavyweight Champion Chris Jericho at AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view, 2 AEW wrestlers will compete on the 9th October Dynamite for a title match against Le Champion the following week. According to AEW, Jimmy Havoc will battle Darby Allin for a chance to win AEW's biggest prize. AEW also revealed why wins and losses matter, after a fan asked why Chris Jericho will defend a title against either Darby Allin or Jimmy Havoc. Can I ask why either would get a shot if he wins? Darby's current record is 1 win, 2 losses and 1 draw. Jimmy's record is 1-3. Why are they ahead of MJF, who is 2-2? Or Sonny Kiss, who is 1-1? Better winning percentages out there and people on losing streaks are bumped ahead? Cody responded, quality of wins plays a factor. Not unlike college football, Jimmy beat 2 other major players in the Cracker Barrel Clash, and Darby went the distance with me and defeated a legend in SEMA. Whether or not AEW can continuously maintain this policy will likely play a role in the promotion's success with fans. Next up, is Jeff Hardy involved in a domestic case? TMZ recently added new details to Jeff Hardy's recent DUI arrest, reporting on some details that emerged when Hardy was pulled over after allegedly swerving on the road. During the stop, the officer noticed Hardy had what seemed to be dried blood on his nose, and asked what happened. The driver advised him that him and his wife got into a fight. Next up, WWE Injuries update. As noted in our earlier news video, Sasha Banks and Bray Wyatt were injured at Hell in a Cell. According to Ringside News, Sasha injured her back, but the severity of the injury is unknown. Wyatt's status is unknown, but he did show up after the 7th October Raw went off the air, attacking Cesaro. PW Insider's Mike Johnson is reporting that Samoa Joe is also out of action and currently nursing a broken thumb. Next up, another Evolution pay-per-view. 2018's all-women pay-per-view Evolution broke new ground with the WWE, but the lack of a follow-up show in 2019 had fans wondering whether it was a failure. Rumors circulated the WWE got cold feet about running a sequel without Ronda Rousey's presence, but recent comments from Triple H suggest otherwise. During an interview with Digital Spy, the game tried to explain why a second Evolution hasn't happened. This year has been a transitional year with WWE that, in the process of a lot of things happening like the switch to Fox, NXT going to USA, there's been so many crazy things going on. Part of the planning process of those things is us not having the bandwidth to do a few of the things that we would have liked to have done this year. Evolution is still on the table, still up in the air as to what will happen and what will go down. I think it might be a little bit on a delay from when we would like to have done it, just because there's only 7 days in a week and 24 hours in the day. There's only so much we can accomplish and have it be done correctly. You don't want to half-ass it. The WWE has never been reluctant about half-assing anything, so some fans may be skeptical about whether the WWE is waiting for the right moment to hold another Evolution pay-per-view, or skeptical about its success. Next up, a WWE legend wants his last match against Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 36. For most wrestlers, there's no such thing as retirement, and even wrestling icon Hulk Hogan is immune to the siren call of the squared circle. In a recent interview with the Los Angeles Times, the Hulkster discussed his upcoming back surgery as well as his desire for one more match. According to Hulk Hogan, I talked to Vince and I said I really don't know if we can live with myself knowing my last match was with TNA. If I can get fixed, I pray I can have one more match. I told Vince, when I get through this back surgery, I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life, and we're gonna talk about me having one last retirement match. Hogan's choice for his opponent might surprise you, as when asked, the Hulkster replied, I'd love for it to be against Vince. I had such a great time with him in the ring at WrestleMania 19. I had no idea what to expect from him, but he's a great bad guy. His timing is great. I love wrestling him, but everything he does hurts. When you're in the ring with someone and they're hurting you, you kind of pinch them on the wrist, and the whole match I was doing that to Vince. I was like, Vince, take it easy. Everything he does hurts, but I'd like to get in the ring with him one more time for my last match. That would be perfect. What do you guys think? Should another grudge match happen? Although he has an amazing physique for his age, he really shouldn't be in the ring. Neither should Hogan. And our top news of today, Bret Hart shoots hard on Bill Goldberg. WWE legend Bret the Hitman Hart recently appeared on former WWF announcer Sean Mooney's podcast, Prime Time with Sean Mooney. The WWE Hall of Famer talked to Mooney about Bill Goldberg and why he thinks Dollar Bill doesn't belong in the WWE Hall of Fame. I wish that Bill Goldberg had never kicked me in the head as hard as he could. I don't know how you give a guy a Hall of Fame thing for hurting as many wrestlers as Bill Goldberg hurt and without any consequence. He usually got a pat on the back and told how good of a job he did out there when you're scraping the wrestler that worked with him off the mat. When Bill Goldberg kicked me in the head, honest to God, I lost about $16 million in like 1 second. I just signed with WCW for $3 million a year for another 3 years, on top of the 2 years I had left on my original contract. So it was bad timing and unfortunate. Well, accidents do happen in the ring, but is Bret Hart just being bitter? After all, there's people like Pete Rose in the WWE Hall of Fame who really shouldn't be there. But what are your thoughts on it? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.